Oh, it's time. Time to get radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Comment of the Week for February 23rd through March the 1st, 2021. Hell yeah, almost caught up. These are the very best comments from that time period, starting out with the three honorable mentions. We got Albert Menendez, Arioka, and Destroyer of Heroes. The bronze medal comes to us from Kalami Gamine. Hey Rick, on topic but off topic for making comparison. I follow this independent rapper by the name of Tom. Really? His name's just Tom? Not Terrific Tom, not Terror Tom, not Toyota Tom? He could rap about Toyotas? Recently, there was a lot of buzz going around about Eminem and Snoop Dogg fighting and mad crap being said in headlines. Eminem is shocked. Tom called this out, like pro wrestling on stage and behind stage are two different worlds. These rappers have no competition, and the only way to stay relevant is to create artificial beef, and it worked. Same for Hollywood. They don't have competition. I'm no Sonic fan, but when the trailer released and the way Sonic looked, again, I'm no fan, but I was fully aware there's a new Sonic movie because of all the rage. The marketing department very likely did this by design, and it worked. Not saying this tactic always works, but when it does, it works big. I didn't know about that rapper beef, but I could see how it happens a lot. I could see behind closed doors, maybe some of these rappers, they call each other. Like wrestlers maybe, set up matches. A lot of maybe wrestlers that are not in the limelight might say, hey, you know what? We really need to start something on Twitter, right? Maybe, maybe it's something as simple as, well, back to rappers. I don't have any issue. I don't have any issue with that kind of stuff, in the rap world, because the thing is, that could actually result in a lot of great albums. I mean, look at it this way. And when it comes to rap, you could have maybe a rapper beef, and then ultimately they come together and they maybe have a dual album or something like that. Could you imagine an album with Snoop Dogg and Eminem? Well, I don't know. Snoop Dogg, he's really not my cup of tea. But Eminem, he's a great rapper. I just, it's silly in a way, but I'm trying to think about the positives here. Because, I'm a very positive person by nature. A lot of people don't think I'm positive. I'm very positive by nature. I look at the end result. Now, I prefer the fake rapper beefs as opposed to the real rapper beefs. You know why, claiming mine? How many rappers were killed just every year now? I think Tentacon, however you say that. Yeah, that person was shot and killed. And it just seems like there's a lot of that going around. Was Pop Smoke popped? Is that one of the rappers that is dead now? Just imagine that. Just imagine that. All these beefs that result in death. When, if you look back decades ago, and there were rap beefs, they were real rap beefs, but I think it was more about like your rapping ability, I mean, LL Cool J, I'm sure he called out a person or two, but it was in good fun because they were trying to compete with one another in the rap game. Yeah, silver medal comes to us from, I don't know why I did a dramatic pause there. Mecha Zeus! I just watched John Hancock's ranking of Data East games for the Sega Genesis. Now, I never watch his videos, and the fact he mentions my favorite game developer of the 16-bit era, I begrudgingly gave it a view. It was a competent review, and I even agree with him on certain games. However, when I got to the comment section is where things took a turn for the worse. He is one miserable individual. All the comments praising him and kissing his feet get a ton of like from him or positive words in return. There's one lone comment, however, that is generally positive and points out that he did mention Two Crude Dudes is a sequel to Bad Dudes. John tells him, nope, look again, which he mentions absolutely nothing about it as a sequel. He then proceeds to dig deeper and tells the person, good thing I'm not ranking your listening skills. To which the person responds, you mentioned it? Well, I must be deaf and blind then. That is good old John Hancock for you. Praise him and you're gold. A slight constructive good-natured comment gets John in fight mode, and you are greeted with a tongue lashing. Humble and nice that immortal JH is to the bitter end. Yeah, I've seen how he really treats a lot of people in his comment section. And, if somebody is very rude, if somebody comes to his comment section and they're very rude, that's one thing, But I've seen John Hancock really kind of just be very hateful, to people unnecessarily, just over certain things like games, like, John, it ain't that big of a deal. Like, we know you're going to make mistakes in your upload. If it's a mistake, just go ahead and own up to it, right? I mean, maybe he actually thinks that he never makes mistakes game-wise. I know people like that. They think they never make mistakes, but we all are human and we all make mistakes. So if it's a little mistake about you not mentioning a game or something, right, then I would say on the one hand, there's no need to really kind of take anyone to task because they failed to mention a game because, well, like I said, we're all human. But on the other end of it, you don't need to be a jackass and rude to people that come to your comment section, and John is a lot of the time. That all goes back to him not being able to, handle or accept or deal with any criticism in a constructive way and actually, make his channel better. Hell, you know what, John? You're getting Patreon donations right now to make your channel better, correct? So, you're on the people's dime. You're getting money. You know what I said a minute ago about, it not being that big of a deal? Well, fuck that, He's getting paid for his YouTube channel from his own audience. Remember that shit and apologize to the Justin LeClaire. Who the fuck is it? See, it's been so long since I talked about John Hancock. Yeah, apologize to all those sugar daddies for getting the names of those games wrong. Next up, with the gold medal. Can you tell I'm a little sleepy here? Yeah, trying to just kind of rush through this one. Sorry about this one not being up to my normal levels, but hey, you know what? On the positive, it's still a lot better than anything you'll find on a fucking Young Defiant channel, I guarantee you. The shiny gold medal, well-deserved, comes to us from scary Jersey Guy. Patrice really hits on the point, and I kind of wanted to weigh in on it. Transparency. That's the part that makes begging in general such a taboo thing. You'll always hear, at least once in your life, why did you give that homeless person money? They're just going to buy booze/drugs with it. When in some cases it's true, and in other cases they need a meal to get through the day. You just don't know, and when someone wants something, they're capable of telling any sob story to get free money. But still, I've been in that position before, and having someone be judgmental of me when I needed a quarter to buy a hot dog at a gas station, and it sucks, so I will throw a 5 at someone when it's clearly obvious they're going through a difficult time. I do realize there's a world of difference between a homeless person and a YouTuber, but the point I wanted to focus on is transparency. When a YouTuber has about $6,000 sitting behind them on a shelf, and the production hasn't improved, the shelf is getting bigger, but that's because they're receiving donations. So, where the hell is the Patreon money actually going? Think about it. There's no real sense that the money being given to them is being put back into the show itself. And if you have the courage to ask for money, but your Twitter just notified me a dozen pics just got uploaded of you standing around in Kyoto, yeah. That's where things get really sleazy, and that's where the heart of why it's considered e-begging instead of investing in a show or tipping. You tip someone a hot dog. You invest in a channel you really like by helping them get a new mic because, goddammit, the cat knocked the last one off the table and I'm $20 short. But paying for someone's vacation and set pieces for a bookshelf, that is a sin. I don't know if it's an official sin. There's greed, gluttony, there's a lot of things that are considered sin, right? One thing that's considered sin is a pride, and I think it's kind of weird, Pride is a sin? I'd like to debate some of those sins. But yeah, we talked about this before, how if you're donating to a Patreon, and I just brought it up, if you're donating to a Patreon like, let's say, a John Hancock, if you're donating to a Patreon, then the expectation is, and it's right there on the Patreon, that this money will help go to my channel. This money does usually not go to help their channel. It goes right behind them. It goes into that shelf. But, I'll hear the argument, well, Rick, it improves the channel, you see, because the variety of stuff behind them, it helps the uploads. Like helps the uploads. I've actually heard this as a defense, once before, believe it or not. People will defend e-beggars up and down all day. It doesn't matter that somebody will come up with a stupid defense. It helps us because, we get to talk about amongst ourselves the stuff on their shelf. I shit you not. Someone left this comment once. Like it helps you. It helps you. Well, I guess it would help a car channel. If someone has new cars in the background. Sometimes they don't even talk about that shit, So yes. Transparency. Yeah, transparency. The key word here, transparency. If there was honesty across the board on YouTube, do any of you think I would actually have as big of a deal and as big of a problem? Do you think any of us that see this shit going on would have that much of a problem? Let's say if Metal Jesus came out and he basically said to people, you know what? This money that you're giving me is not going to go into my basement leak because it didn't cost that much to fix it. But I'm going to take the money. I'm going to claim that it's a lot more to fix it, and I'm going to take this money and put it into a trip to Japan. Okay. And this house that I'm helping to fix up with your money, thanks, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and sell this house, but yeah, thanks. It's transparency. Just in that group alone of people, there's a big lack of transparency.